big world out there. How y'all doing today? Hey, it's Saturday. Hey, and it's fall. Hey, no more hot weather, y'all. Hey. Okay, that's my excitement. You know, I got to kick it off with excitement, right? Because I love this type of weather. Like, no more hot weather. Oh, I'm so excited. I feel like I'm living the dream. I have not seen you all in 7 whole days. Oh my God. How's everybody doing? How was everybody week? Like, I hope it was great. I hope it was phenomenal. I hope you had a blast. And, you know, not every day is going to be a perfect day, right? Some days you are going to encounter some highs. Some days you are going to encounter some lows. But the thing to remember is not to stay in that space. Don't stay in that space at all. You don't want to get caught in that space because you're so much better than that. You want to pray about it, let it go, and get on with the day. You don't want depression, anxiety, fear, none of that to sit in, right? Because you're so much better than that. You are better than what you're going through. So just remember that if you're dealing with something, you do not have to be in that space. Okay? So, we got an excellent show for you today. But as you know, I like to do fun facts, right? Oh my God. So, like, I grew up watching a lot of sitcoms, and my parents used to always say, oh, this was out before your time. This was out before your time. And I never stopped at like one sitcom. There were multiple sitcoms that I watched. So some of the sitcoms that came out in the 50s and 60s, we're going to leave those right there. We're not going to talk about those, right? We're going to talk about sitcoms that aired in the middle 70s all the way to the 80s, okay? And if you know about these sitcoms and you watched them, throw a green heart in the comment section. You got any fun facts about the show, any memories about the sitcoms? Throw that in the comments. Like, I would love to hear your feedback. So I'm talking about old television sitcoms. The first one is Happy Days. Y'all remember Fonzie with the leather jacket on the motorcycle? Like, I wanted a leather jacket. And just to be cool, white t-shirts was in there for everybody, you know? So this is what I wanted. Anyway, Happy Days aired January 15th, 1974. And it ended July 19th, 84. Like, had they stayed there one more day, it would have ended on my birthday. Now, there is a total of 11 seasons, totaling 255 episodes. Fonzie, his name is Henry Winkler. He was genuinely terrified of motorcycles. So here you got this cool guy in the 70s with this leather jacket, and he's afraid of motorcycles, but they give him a motorcycle roll. Like, what? Is the pay double? I was trying to search to see if the pay was double for that, but I couldn't find it. Now, most scenes with Fonzie riding the motorcycle were with a bike that was attached to a truck or a special platform. So he wasn't actually riding. He was just actually sitting there, right? Now, Good Times. Who don't remember JJ and Michael? Oh my God. Again, if you remember these sitcoms, can you give me a green heart in the comments? Now, James kind of reminded me of my father coming up because James didn't take no mess. I used to get in a lot of trouble, so I knew when my dad came around, I was going to get a whooping. It was a no-brainer. So, yeah, James didn't play no games at all. But I was Team JJ all the way. Kid Dynamite. Okay. Now that show aired February 8th, 1974, and it ended August 1st, 1979. There were a total of 6 seasons, totaling 133 episodes. Here's what's so fascinating about this, right? The actors, father and son, were close in age. So John Amos was only 7.5 years older than Jimmy Walker. Like, wow. So this guy is 7.5 years older than me, and I got to call him dad on the show. Like, I could just imagine the talk off camera and how things went down. I wonder, did he call him John, or was he still dad because of that respect era? But yes, it was amazing. Next show I could not wait to watch when I got home. Laverne and Shirley. Oh my God, I love Laverne and Shirley. Again, thank you to all my viewers that are online. Thank you so much. Benita, I love you. Y'all, that's my sister. Wes, thank you for tuning in. Mr. Gates, thank you for tuning in. Much love. Thank you. Now, Shirley was my favorite one. Shirley, I love Shirley. Laverne and Shirley aired January 27th, 1976, and it ended May 10th, 1983. There was a total of 8 seasons, totaling 178 episodes. Now, here's what's so funny to me. I never do this. The L on Laverne's shirt, and by the way, her name is Penny Marshall, who played Laverne, had trouble remembering which camera to look at when she was filming. So to solve the problem, they put the L on the left side of her shirt, so when she looked, she was facing the right side of the camera so she could know which camera to look at. Like, who thought about that? Like, can you imagine? I wonder if they do that now with sitcoms. Like, let me put something in the way, and not on you per se, but so that you can see what camera to look at. I think I need that too, because I'll be looking all over. Like, or no, I'm just going to get a whole bunch of cameras one day. Baby steps, no judging. Now, next show. What's happening? Oh, yes. How could you not watch Dwayne? Like, who didn't like Dwayne? Like, that was my homie. Like, I understood everything Dwayne was saying. Hey. But okay. Now, that aired August 5th, 1976, and it ended April 28th, 1979. There was only a total of 3 seasons, totaling 65 episodes. The sitcom was originally intended to be a TV version of the 1975 movie Cooley High. Yes. Now, another one of my favorite sitcoms, like all of these were my favorite. Some of them are on Prime, some of them are on Tubi. So do understand, I go back and still watch some of these shows. Three's Company. Who didn't like Jack? Oh my God, I love Jack. Yes. Now, Three's Company aired March 15th, 1977, and it ended August 18th, 1984. There were a total of 8 seasons, totaling 172 episodes. The show title comes from the proverb, two's company, three's a crowd, which was a popular saying dating all the way back to 1546. Now, let's put a pin in that. There's a saying from 1546 that we still currently use in 2025. Period. Wow. 2 is company, 3 is the crowd. Like, I still say that depending on what I'm doing and who I'm hanging out with. So, wow. Now, gotta end this one on a special one. So if you watch this show, if you know these characters, if you could relate to this, I need you to drop some green hearts in the comments. Different strokes. What you talking about, Willis? Like, oh my God, I love different strokes. Who did not love different strokes? Oh my God, yes. So it aired November 3rd, 1978, and it ended March 7th, 1986. There was a total of 8 seasons, totaling 189 episodes. Now, I wish that I knew Mr. Drummond. Like, I think I would have had all the Barbie dolls, all the Cabbage Patch Kids, like everything. Like, yes, I know that that's what I would have wanted. Yes. Now, Alan Thicke, the star of Growing Pains and Robin Thicke's father, co-wrote and performed the theme song for Different Strokes. I did not know that. Oh my God. And I love Robin Thicke. I love his dad too, but I love his singing. But okay, so that ends all of my fun facts, right? I hope you guys enjoyed my fun facts about sitcoms. I see all the green hearts in the comments. Yes, so that means everybody was on these same sitcoms. Yes, okay, that's what I'm loving. And I still watch them today. Like, my favorite ultimate sitcom will always be Sanford and Son, and then the Andy Griffin Show. And then these will come right after that. But Barney, with that one bullet, baby, when I need a good laugh, and when I just need to laugh so hard, I need my side to hurt, I don't want to move, I'm turning on Fred Sanford. That's it. It's it. Okay. So now, yes, we are in the month of November. We are still celebrating November birthdays. People, if you are celebrating your birthday, please do it in decency and in order. Please be careful. Please enjoy yourselves. And if you got some birthday cake, I need a piece. I prefer buttercream icing. But if you don't have icing or whipped cream icing, it's no problem. I still like birthday cake. You know, just to let y'all know, whoever wanted to know. Now, before we jump into this amazing show, like, this show is just so amazing. Like, wait, all the shows are amazing, but this show, like, oh my God, using time as a form of currency. We're going to dive into that on so many levels with our special guest. But before we get there, I want to jump into one announcement and then give you all some information for quarter 4. So, excluding today, which is the 15th, you have 2 days left to participate in the amnesty program by the state of Illinois. And what they're saying is that all interest and penalty fees will be forgiven if you have a balance from June 30th, 2018 through July 1st, 2024. So if you have a balance with them and you pay that balance in full, your interest and penalties will be forgiven. Let's just say you have a balance and you haven't paid it, and your interest and penalties may outweigh the balance. That's fine. Just pay the bill so your interest and penalties can be waived. Now, closing 2025 strong and stepping into 2026 ready. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I got a message. I'm froze. So if somebody can see me moving and can hear me, can I get 2 green hearts? If you can see me, can I get 2 green hearts? If you see me moving, you see me talking, somebody said I froze. Am I still froze? Oh no, please don't tell me I'm still froze. Okay, you can hear me. Thank you. Now, since we're in quarter 4 and we're about 6.5 weeks away from ending 2025, I'm going to give you some tips. No matter if you're a business owner, an individual, what have you, I'm just going to give you some tips. Gather all your 2025 receipts, invoice, and records. Every transaction matters if you are a business owner and you're filing out on a corporation return or an individual return. If you are your own boss and you cover everything, everything counts. So have all of your receipts. Start getting that together now if you have not been doing so. Collect your year-end credit card and bank statements. Now is the time for you to log into your credit card accounts, your bank accounts, download all of them statements and save them to your computer or save them to a folder so when you submit them to your prepare, everything will be there. Make sure you label them. Don't just send, if you have 2 bank accounts and a credit card account, don't just send 36 statements over and we got to decipher that. No, kindly put it together and name it so we'll know what we're working with. If you run payroll and you have forms 941, 940, and then 1096 and form W3, that's if you receive a W2, get ready to start processing that, which means all your ducks should be in a row. If you do payroll for companies, you have all of your ducks in a row. If you don't and you use a third party to handle that business for you, contact them and get all of your records, your 941s. The 940 is due at the end of the year. You want to balance out when you start cutting these W-2s. Make estimated tax payments. Even now, I know we're no longer shut down completely. Still make those estimated tax payments. It's so important. It's so beneficial for you. Now, stay faithful to your payment plan. If you are on a payment plan, remain faithful and stay faithful to it. If you are unable to make that payment, contact the Internal Revenue Service. Do not just blatantly ignore them. Because what happens if you do, the letters get sent out. Then after the letters are sent out and they feel like you're ignoring them, here comes levies, here comes garnishments of your wages, and then you're calling anointed accounting and we're trying to help you and you're frustrated. Let's jump on the bandwagon ahead of time. We still have some time. Now, if you have not done so, please create an IRS ID Me account. The IRS is definitely being very strict about these accounts. A lot of things that you're going to need to do with the federal government, you're going to have that account open. If not, you won't be able to access anything or do anything. So it's so very important that you create that account. It takes about 7 to 12 minutes. If you need the direct instructions, I have step-by-step instructions. Send me an email and I'll get that sent out to you. But it's so important to have that account open. If you reside in the state of Illinois, create you a My Tax Illinois account. I cannot stress this enough, my people. It is okay to be nosy about you. It is okay to know what sits under your name, your EIN number, and your Social Security number. You want to know what these federal and state entities have on you. And if you go against them, you want to have some type of ammunition. So have your documents, but also have your account open. So when you do work with your preparer and or your accountant, we're able to access that and see everything that they see. We're also able to challenge it if it's not right, depending on the documents that you have in front of you. Now, verify your business EIN, address, and contact information with the IRS and the state. That's so very important. Even though you may not change it often, still update it. Prime example, I've had my IRS account for umpteen years. I go in there the other day, got to do a name change. For some reason, they wanted to spell my name S-H-A-Y and it's S-H-A-V. So something so small as that, you have to update it. Be intentional about updating that information. Business owners, Review your profit and loss statements. Spot any deductions that you had prior year, but you don't see it this year. And you will know that because you've been in communication with your accountant and you've also went back and looked at your tax return. You also know what you've been doing this year. In this current year, you know what you have done. Take note of that. You always want to try to be one step ahead of the game. That's so important. Now, you want to reconcile your payroll and contractor reports before the end of the year. This will avoid any last minute stressors. It's so important. And I know I'm saying a lot, but I'm just getting you ready. I will be giving out weekly reminders about this because a lot of people are business owners or they're becoming business owners and stepping into entrepreneurship. And I'd rather for you to know the right way than to assume and guess and don't know a way at all. That's not good at all. No, not at all. We do things in decency and in order. So we don't want to wait till the last minute. We want to get things out there. Now, if for some reason, out of all the information I just gave you, you are still clueless and you're still stuck and like, I don't know what to do. I know I got it. I don't know if I don't have it. I want to have it, but forgot where I put it. If I lost it and I don't think I can get it back, etc., etc. Guess what? You can contact Anointed and Appointed Accounting Services, Inc. for help. We love helping people because the more we help you, the more you help us. Because the more you know, the more you help us help you with what it is that you know. Because we're not sitting here guessing. We're not trying to figure out stuff. We're not trying to put together a puzzle with no pieces. Although we can do it because we're awesome like that. But it's better to have information. Very much so. So please start getting your documents in order. It's November 15th. It's not too late. When you look up, it is going to be January 1st, 2026. And then you're going to be scrambling. And then here comes the extensions if you're not ready to go out in March and in April. And now you're going to need that extension for an additional 6 months because you still don't have everything ready for 2025. Avoid that stress on yourself. And that's so important because we're going to be also talking about that today as business owners, sole proprietors, being an entrepreneur. We're going to learn how to balance that work life balance, and everything else surrounding us. Okay, we're going to definitely be doing that. Now, I always quote a professor of mine back at Harold Washington, Professor Yates. I'll never, ever forget him. He used to come in and tell all these little corny jokes, but they were funny to me. And then the joke would go along with what the assignment was about. And then he'll look at the book and say, now, let's see what the smart people said. But I think the class really loved more what he said because we understood it more. And once he ended with his summary, he always said everything starts and ends with a transaction. That lesson sticks with me daily in business and faith, financial, everything. That statement sticks with me because it is so very, very true. That is a true statement. Everything starts and ends with the transaction. Period. So if you think like that, you'll save all your receipts because now you're looking for all your deductions. You're looking for what's going to help your taxable income when it comes to your tax return. You're looking at what's going to save you dollars. So if I make this make sense to you and use it as a transaction mode, then you're going to be so excited to hurry up and get things done. Okay? Now, those are my announcements. I want to acknowledge everybody on the line. Thank you for tuning in, especially on a Saturday. being here with Anointed Accounting, Shavonna M. Allen. Like, I'm so happy to have you guys here. Thank you for watching. Again, we have an amazing show. Feel free to comment. Feel free to ask questions. I always ask everyone after the show to please, please, please share the content. You just never know who may need the content. You never know who you are going to help. You just never know. So everyone needs this information. And on top of that, it's free. It's no charge. It's free. Who don't like free information? Now, jumping into the show. Oh my God, I'm excited. Oh my God, I'm super excited. But like, I'm always excited, right? So again, we have such an incredible show. Like, you see, I can't sit still. I'm moving, right? Now, y'all know, whoever watches me, you know I work backwards. So picture yourself at church, right? And they're going to announce who the MC is, and they give you all these highlights, and you sitting there looking like, well, who is this person? Where is this person? Like, what's going on? No, I do things backwards. So I am going to bring on Miss Piper Parker, and then I'm going to give you the highlights. Yes! Oh my God. Yes!
Hi. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you.
Hey, Miss
Piper. Hey, everybody.
Hi. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Can you tell? Can you tell? Yeah. Now, so now that I done got that excitement part out, let me give you some highlights about why I'm so excited about Miss Piper. I'm just going to lay it all out there. Now, first, she has a BS in accounting from Tuskegee University in 1989. She became an Illinois CPA in 1997. Her life as an accountant, she was a property accountant from 2001 to 2012. She was a real estate controller from 2012 to 2020. She was a senior accountant and still is, starting from 2020 up until now. She advocates for work-life boundaries. Oh my God, yes, she does. Yes. She famously says, I don't land 747s for a living. If I have a bad day at work, nobody dies. Now, because she has and always remains to help me, I know she helps a lot of other people in the accounting industry, far as opening doors, providing opportunities, connections, and just the wisdom. Now, she's also my accountant, and I'm very, 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 did I say very, 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 very selfish with her? Yes. And when you think of an accountant, you know, when you think of an accountant, you think like numbers, you think spreadsheets, you think we're like this geek and this dork and we don't have a life. Absolutely not Miss Piper. Absolutely, positively not her. Oh my God. Okay, wait. Let me tell you why. Now, she is definitely not your typical accountant, not by any stretch of the imagination. She is an excellent role model and inspiration. She is my idol. Yes. I even address her many times as Miss Obama. Like her style, her charisma, the way she convey what she wants to say, like her aura, like she just downright dope. She down to earth. She's fearless. She's unapologetic. She speaks her mind to the core, and she has impeccable taste and good eating. How about that? So I am super excited to introduce Miss Piper.
Thank you.
Did I get it right?
Yeah, she got it right.
I did. Did I leave out anything?
I'm just so humble. You know, you're showering all these accolades on me, and I'm humbled to, get my flowers while I'm here to still smell them.
That's right. Absolutely. That's
Yeah, and
like they
it's
say,
so
get flowers while
interesting.
you're here.
You said, work-life boundaries. People often say work-life balance. Balance is very, that's objective. I mean, that's, everybody has their own definition, but boundaries are firm. Boundaries are clear. So I'm glad you used that term. And then
Yes.
also, I like spreadsheets. Spreadsheets are my love language. So
Well, I don't like them. I'm an old school type of accountant. Like, I want the green ledger paper. I want a calculator, a pen, and a
oh
pencil.
wow, you go
Because if I
way
see
back.
the mistake, I can fix it. On that
Yeah.
spreadsheet, I already got gray hair. That spreadsheet gonna give me more gray hair than ever. So that's why I talk to you.
Yeah, that's why I'm
That's
here.
just why I love your love language, because it's definitely not mine. and we all have our strengths and our weaknesses, but
Oh,
okay, not
absolutely. That's how,
a,
that's why, you need your network to kind of complement you because yeah, I mean, I don't know everything. I have people who can kind of fill the spaces that where, I'm weak and then vice versa. So it's very
absolutely,
important.
absolutely. And I'm so glad I'm a part of your network, and you're definitely a big part of my network.
I'm just so grateful that, you chose me to be part of your journey. So,
Absolutely. Like, I'll never forget. Like, before we jump into the show, right? My neighbor introduced me to this awesome young lady. And he said, I'm gonna give her your number. She's gonna text you, respond back. Don't know when he gave the number. I just know I had a message that said, if you don't have a LinkedIn profile, set one up and follow me.
yes.
Okay, so I went and I did that, and I text her back. Hello, this is Shavana. Thank you. I went ahead and set it up. Here's all the information. Then she texts back, what is a good email address for you?
Mm-hmm.
So then I sent her an email, and I'm sitting here wondering, like, we're going to have a phone conversation. We're going to talk at some point. This is what I'm thinking. Maybe about 24 hours later, I go to my email and I am copied on about 20 emails that she done sent my information out, and I'm getting phone calls. And I'm like, I gotta talk to this lady. She knows somebody. Like, this lady knows somebody. Like, I gotta talk to her. But we kept missing each other. And during the texting, I want to say it was maybe like 4 months into this relationship,
Was it
is when
that
I
that long
actually, yes, was
before I
when we
actually talked to
actually
you?
had a
Oh,
conversation.
okay.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I started out, because I get, I've been in the accounting industry for over 36 years, and I've met a lot of people. I mean, I have recruiters. I mean, this is a very high demand industry, so I have a lot of recruiters that reach out to me like almost daily, and I'm like, I need to connect this woman to those resources, and things actually worked out for you. You got in touch with, one of my recruiters, and you were able to, land on your feet. And and it was just just an introduction. And sometimes in business and in life, that's all you need is an introduction, and
And
then
you
you just
definitely
took
gave
it
me
from there.
that.
You didn't
Man,
need my help.
you educated me along the ways, because I really had some questions about this industry. And like, you were really, really that stepping stone, that motivation through this journey, especially stepping out there, not knowing what to do and where to go. And
Hmm.
also, a big part of that is not being a CPA.
Hmm.
So that was one of my biggest dilemmas. And you always just kept it 100 with me. Like, don't worry about it. We're going to get this done and fixed. And every time I reached out, it was always, always phenomenal. So thank you for that. Like, you have been a
You're
very,
welcome.
very, very important person in my life. Thank you.
You're
And
welcome.
speaking of that, I know that, we talk a lot about money and about time. When we
Mhm.
have our when we have our meetings. Yes, I have to schedule a meeting with her. I can't just up and call her. No. But when we do
You
have
can
our
call me.
meetings,
We've got you're in the inner circle now, so
oh, okay, I can call now.
you can call me. Yes.
I'm gonna call you when we get off this. No, no, but you always spoke to me about controlling my time,
Mhm.
being a contractor, as well as also having a 9 to 5. Like, can you explain to all of our viewers, like, how do you manage doing both? How do you manage working a 9 to 5, being your own boss, and also mentoring, giving back?
Well, I stumbled on contracting, years ago. What really gave me confidence in this industry was being laid off. I reached out to, different accounting services contractors, and I did temp work in between jobs. So, I found that there is a need for, temporary work. There's a need for, contracting. And in 2012, I was between jobs, and I ended up working the family that I worked for previously. The older man, he sent my resume to his son, who was starting a company. He was starting a real estate development company, and he was at a point. He and his partners were at a point where they needed accounting help. And, I came in and consulted, and they were so happy with the work. They were like, "Can you work for us? Can you work for us?" And I was like, "Well, I kind of need something full time." I ended up working for them part time. And I ended up working for them for 8 years. And I was their accounting department. I was a one woman accounting department for a long time until it got to a point where I just couldn't handle it anymore and I had to bring in some help. So that then I was able to provide an opportunity for a friend of mine to come in and work with me. And I fought hard to get her in. And I was just like, I need this person because she had the same type of experience that I had. So, that gave me the confidence to start my own business. And right now you're my only client right now.
Good,
I'm
good.
working pretty much full time for Venning Advisors, which is an accounting firm on the East Coast. And this company is going to be the largest minority owned um, accounting firm in the country pretty soon. We're growing really fast. So it's like all of my time really is going towards my 9 to 5. But the contracting is very interesting because it gave me an opportunity to really set my own hours. It gave me the opportunity to negotiate my own rates. And it also gave me the opportunity, since there were no benefits like paid time off, I was able to pretty much take as much time off as I wanted. As long as I had everything, all my ducks in a row before I left, it was nothing for me to take a month off. And
Wait,
the
how
client,
long did you take
a
off?
month. There were a
Not
couple
a
of times
week.
I took a month off, and the client was fine with it because it was like, oh, because I worked hourly. They paid me by the hour. They were like, "Oh, we got a whole month. We gonna save some money."
Right. That's why I said you should
As
have won
long as
like 3 days.
everything was all the ducks were in a row, they was like, "Oh, go enjoy yourself."
They want to hurry up and get rid of you
Right.
for
So
that 30 days.
but the contracting does have a downside, and I was contracting on my own. I wasn't through an agency. When you're doing it through an agency like Robert Half, it still gives you a lot of flexibility because these agencies are now paying benefits. They're paying doing paid time off, and you will almost never work overtime. I know you've been in these situations in this industry where you have worked like an insane amount of hours. And when you're working for an agency, the agency is charging the client at this outrageous rate. You're getting a piece of that, but the client would have to pay time and a half at the agent's rate. So a lot of times they will make their salaried people work overtime. They're not going to make the temp work overtime. So I found that as a way of, doing 40 hours a week and that's it, you know. So, there are a lot of upsides when you're contracting on your own, like I did with, with the real estate developer. There were no benefits. I had to, find my own health care. I had to, when I took time off, it was time off at no pay. So, it was kind of like sometimes it was kind of a feast or famine situation. So I had to become a better money manager of my personal finances to make sure that I could take the hit and then also pay for these, fabulous vacations. So
Absolutely.
while not being paid. And then now as working, I'm working a W-2 job right now, but it's remote. So that gives me a lot of flexibility. So it's kind of a best of both worlds because I can still manage my time. And then if I do want to go away, if I want to go to, south of France for a month, I can just take my laptop with me and still work as long as I have, a Wi-Fi, have Wi-Fi access. So in just all those years of experience have gotten me to a point where I do have the luxury of managing my time, and I have so much gratitude for that.
Man, like you just gave me hope. I felt like I've been doing some things wrong. So like I love it. And I love how you travel. Cuz are you in the United States now?
I am here. I'm actually in my home, and you can see my lovely accent wall, with which is a tribute to my travels.
Yeah, because you've been a lot of places. And I so love that. I think that's one of the things that I tell a lot of people when I talk about my accountant. I never say a name. I just be like, my accountant is not even in the United States. But
Well,
but
I'm
I'm
here. I'm here
here
more than you think. Like you see the Facebook posts, those couple of times a year when I'm away, and it seems like I've been, and I'm still posting when I get back. So it seems like I've been gone for a long time, and it's only like a couple of weeks. So
yeah, but you're still gone. You're not here.
yeah,
No, no, I love it though.
yeah.
Like,
Mentally and spiritually, I'm still in Italy right now. So
oh, I get it.
I'm
I
sitting
get
here.
it.
I'm
'Cause
sitting here with a glass of limoncello.
look, mentally, I am in Alaska and I'm surrounded by a whole bunch of snow and I'm just loving it. But okay.
Yep.
Since you mentioned that, you talked a lot about your time. And how do you evaluate your worth with your time? Is it by your credentials? Is it by experience? You did mention that you were a W-2 employee. So whether it's
Mhm.
salary or hourly, how do you evaluate your time and your worth?
Well, I look at all of it. It's like it's kind of if you're doing a project, for example, it's very difficult to evaluate how much time that project is going to take. Until you get in there, it's kind of like, it's almost like being a mechanic, and the mechanic says, okay, well, this brake job is going to cost, here's an estimate of what it's going to cost. But then when they actually take the brakes apart, it might be something else going on that they're not aware of. Okay, we're going to have to add more services to this. So I don't like to give like a fixed fee. Like what I do, I do it hourly. So that way, if it does take a little more time, I give like an estimate, but I try to set an hourly rate. So in case it goes over the time that I think it's going to take, then I'm compensated. I also look at salary surveys. Robert Half has a really great detailed salary survey for the accounting and finance industry and also the IT industry. And those they have everything down to even like the location. Okay, in different salary levels of people who have, your experience level, whether you're an accounting clerk, or you're a payables clerk, or payroll, or if you're a staff accountant, assistant controller, manager, on and on and on up to, CEO, CFO, and what you should be making depending on the industry, depending on your location, your years of experience. And it's a nice range. And then there is a percentage that you will add if you're a CPA, if you have an MBA, et cetera, et cetera. So you can take all of that into consideration when you're negotiating. If you're starting a new job, or if you're contracting, you take all of that into consideration. And even if you've been on the job, like I've done contract work, the whole 8 years that I was a real estate controller. I started out part-time. I helped grow that company. And I went to them after a couple of years and I said, I need a raise. And I didn't just go to them and say, oh, well, I got all these bills and I need a, no, I went with them. I had my salary surveys. I had my resume. I talked about my, years of experience. Plus, here are my accomplishments, with the 2 years that I've been with you. And then I proposed what the increase in my hourly rate, what that should be. And I went completely outrageous. I knew I wasn't going to get it. But instead of them lowballing me, they met me somewhere in the middle, which is what I wanted.
Great.
And then they threw in, they were paying for parking spaces for the partners. And I said, oh, okay, I'll take that, but you got to throw in a parking space. And they gave me a parking space too. So I said, look, they could say no, they could completely shoot me down. They could say, oh, you crazy. Or they could say, oh, okay, yeah, you do deserve a raise. Hey, here's our counter offer.
And that's because you had your ammunition.
And I had my ammunition, I had my accomplishments, I had my salary surveys to back up. Here's what a real estate controller should be making in Chicago with a CPA, so I had all of that backup, and they couldn't say, oh, we can't afford it, because I do the books. I see the bank account.
And I think some people, and that's even like with me, especially like if I call a client for a payment. Mm-hmm. Well, oh, I don't have it. Okay. Not a problem. So when I get your books and I look at your bank statement, because you forget you're going to give me your books, I'm going to see that you had it.
Right. I see what your gross profit is. I see what your expenses are.
I do your books.
Like, really? Right.
I think somewhere along the line they forget about that. Oh, they're not looking at that. Oh, we're looking at everything.
Yeah. I'm like, look, you made you grossed $3 million last year. And if I'm doing your books, look, I deserve a percentage of that.
Absolutely.
But seriously,
you're keeping it in order. I'm
keeping all this in order. Yeah. So I mean, you have to, don't be afraid. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? They could say no.
That's it. and I had to learn that the hard way.
And if you never ask, you never know. And a lot of times they'll coast along and, hey, if she's not asking, maybe just keep paying her what we're paying her.
Right. Because you don't say anything. Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
So
now with that, so using that analogy with someone like me that loves to work, like how do you balance life, work life, money, and time? Because that's a lot. You got your personal life, you got your work life. Now, money is a factor, and then time you just can't get back. Like,
no,
check that out. We just missed 30 seconds. We can't get that back.
No. And yeah, I look at it, if you want to get rich and you want to constantly work, I mean, that's fine. But for me, the money means nothing to me if I don't have time to spend it. I don't have time to use it. I don't have time to enjoy it. Um, I set aside time for everything. So, my work time, I have a schedule at work. I'm 9 to 5, Monday through Thursday. And I do sometimes work outside of that time, but my clients and my staff and my immediate supervisor know outside of that time, I'm not available. And I could work more and make more money, but for me, I have to set aside my personal time. I have to set aside time, to cook healthy meals. I have to set aside time to work out. I like to practice yoga. I have my yoga community. Shout out to Ahimsa, but they have become kind of my, uh, you know, they help to kind of steady the storm for
Oh,
me.
that's great.
And I have to set aside time. I have a class that I take on Wednesday afternoons, and even if a client comes and says, "Hey, I can meet with you on Wednesday at noon," no, I
Just
have
like
no,
that.
I have
No.
another call. I have another call already scheduled for that time. I can meet with you before, or I can meet with you after 1:30. And and most of the time, if you set those firm boundaries, you know, most of the time people will respect it, unless they're just really jerks. They will respect, that time and those boundaries. So if you're somebody who loves to work, it's great if you love it. But to prevent that burnout, you have to set a specific time. Like, I don't work past 5 o'clock. A lot of times I'm done at 4. And I work East Coast time, so that's fine. It's 5 o'clock on the East Coast by the time I'm done. But it's like 5 o'clock. I'm turning the computer off, whether I'm done or not, or whether I'm just into something and I just want to. No, you got to stop at some point. I give myself, at least one day a week to do nothing. So that day is Sunday. So I don't plan anything on Sunday. So, I rarely plan anything on Sunday. Sometimes I'll go visit my family, but somebody says, "Hey, let's do dinner or let's do something on Sunday." It's like, "Nah, let's do it on Saturday, or let's do it on Friday night, or we can even do it during the week."
Just not on
Um,
Sunday.
just not on Sunday. Sunday is my just I don't exercise, I don't cook, I don't clean, I don't do anything on Sunday. I binge watch my shows,
And that's
and that
it.
yeah, that's I schedule that time. And if you're somebody who loves to work, and you gotta know when to stop and stick with that time, and then schedule time for yourself.
Oh, I learned that this year. And when I tell you it was amazing, you know, when it was maybe a year ago on our deadline. It was like 1 o'clock, and I was telling, my staff, "Hey, it's time to go. We finna go out for margaritas and tacos. We done. We done. What you mean we done?" And that felt so good that I was like, I gotta do this every year. And then I
Mm-hmm.
fell back and was like, well, no, I'm gonna work all day because people need me. And then I was like, you know what? I just saw a big donkey right across my forehead and was like, nope, nope. So this year, like and I love everyone that comes to
Mm-hmm.
Anointed County. I'm so grateful for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
But my thing is now is if you can't get it in here by this time, you're gonna have to go somewhere else because
Yep.
I can't do it. I can't
Exactly. And you
because
can't meet their
my integrity,
expectations.
yes, my
Mhm.
integrity. You deserve the
Exactly.
same amount of time as everyone else gets, the same
Exactly.
amount of work and quality that everybody else gets.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned that, and I had to tell myself, I literally work with no days off, January 1
Oh,
through
wow.
October 31st. No days off. None.
Are you kidding
I'm serious. So I'm here, and I ask people that
me?
when they
No.
come to me afterwards and say, well, I need to get this done and then it's in a hurry. Well, that sounds like a you problem because I've been here. Where you been? And
Hello.
here's what I get. Well, life be life. And well, guess what? I done had deaths. There done
Mhm.
been births. It done been some hard times. It done been some good times. But I'm still here. Where have you been?
Yeah, and you know, and I have to consider, even if you're on the other side of that, you have to consider what you do, how it impacts somebody else. And
Yes.
that's what people don't understand. It's like, yeah, there's a process to this. And if you just want to come in at the last minute and say, oh, here's my stuff, and then the next day call, oh, where are my books? Like, no, 6 months worth of, you sent me 6 months worth of bank statements. I gotta work backwards 6 months. It's gonna take a minute
Yeah.
to get you your
You want it
books.
done correctly.
Yeah,
Right.
if you want, yeah, I can do it fast, but if you want it done right,
You're going to give
it's
me some time.
there's a process to this. It's gonna take
Yes.
a minute. And
Yes.
AI, and we have, the AI, we use AI, and AI helps us be more efficient, but AI does not take the place of just being conscientious and checking over stuff. I mean, AI can, if you don't set it up right, AI can screw up your books. And I've seen clients that have tried to do books themselves because, QuickBooks makes them think that they can fire their accountant.
Absolutely.
and
QuickBooks, is it zero
yeah,
ways? Yeah, I didn't had a couple people tell me, well, Shavonna, this is free, so I'm not gonna need your bookkeeping
okay,
services. And then I get the books at the end of the year, and I'm like, okay, what is this? Oh, I
yeah.
don't know.
And I'm going to charge you for cleanup, and I'm going
Yes,
to charge you a hefty fee for cleanup, just because
you didn't have to do it. As my
just
mama
because
said,
you
you
didn't
didn't
listen
have
to
to
me,
do
just because you're stupid.
it.
Like, okay, you are not, unless you're a trained accountant, unless you got your niece and nephew doing QuickBooks, and it's like your niece works for Amazon. She's not an accountant.
And she
you know,
googling something. That's
at the
that's what
very
it is.
huh?
And she's googling something to get the answer.
Right. And at the very least, you need a professional to, even a professional bookkeeper to look at your books at least on a quarterly basis to make sure everything is in order.
Yes,
And
especially if you don't have it in order.
when you come to me a year later or 2 years later, and now your taxes are due, you sent all this stuff to your tax accountant. Your tax accountant looking at it and is like, "What is this crap?" Go back to your bookkeeper and fix it so I can do your tax return. And then you go back. Well, you realize your niece is not an accountant.
Yes.
So now you want to come to me and you want me to hurry up and fix it. And it's like, no, this is all a big old cleanup job. And it
Yes.
is going to cost you dearly. And
Yes.
it's like, first of all, I don't want to deal with it. Second of all, what I'm going to charge you to fix it, and I don't even know how much time it's going to take to fix it. I'm charging you by the hour, and I'm charging you a premium by the hour to fix all of this stuff. You're going to wish that you just hired
Listen.
a bookkeeper in the first place to keep everything in order. You
Yes.
know,
And,
so
and it's not always.
AI does not, at some point, the bots are coming for all of us, but
Absolutely, they are.
today is not that day
It's
because I
not.
see so many flaws in, there are just some things AI can't do
It can't.
when it comes to accounting and finance
And taxes
and
at
taxes.
no.
Yeah.
It's a no brainer. Like
No,
sometimes you literally have to sit there and look at everything and
yeah.
find it. Then you have to get a magnifying glass, or if you don't have a magnifying glass, you have to call your resources. So like if I don't reach out to you and I can't find something, I'm calling Miss
Yeah.
K from Pendleton Quick Tax, or I'm calling Miss Angel from Angel's Tax. Like, wait a minute, am I slow? What am I not seeing here? And it's not that I'm slow, it's just that it's just so much stuff that's there that's not done correct. Now I got to
Mhm.
start from beginning again. AI can't do that.
And you've seen it. I see it every day where, QuickBooks has a really great bank feed.
Mm-hmm.
And and the clients ask me, well, why do you need my bank statements? We have a bank feed. I said, because the bank feed doesn't have everything. The bank feed, first of all, doesn't have the beginning and ending balance of your bank statement. I need that to do a bank rec. Second of all, there are some things the bank feed doesn't feed everything. I've seen errors after errors where the bank feed just stops working for whatever reason, and all the transactions aren't there. And I'm calling clients all the time, hey, you need to go back in and reconnect your bank feed. Well, why did it stop working? What? I don't know. It's a QuickBooks problem. I don't know. If it stops working, your transactions aren't there. And people think AI is flawless. It's not.
Well, I don't
And if
use
you set
AI.
it up, and if you set it up wrong, you got a really big problem, because you gotta AI is like a baby. You got to tell it what to do. And if you tell it to do the wrong thing, it's going to do the wrong thing and keep doing the wrong thing.
Right, because it don't know. It's only doing what you
Yeah.
ask it to do.
Garbage in, garbage out.
Yeah, and that's why I don't mind getting me a pencil sharpener, and my green ledger paper, and I'm gonna sit and do it from start to finish, because I need to go back and find that mistake. What I was taught in school was, you being the accountant, you're the one that creates the spreadsheets and the formulas. But before you can create the formulas and the spreadsheets, you got to know what you're doing. So even if you got to
Yeah.
start with T accounts, even if you got to start with your debits and your credits, you have to
I
start
did T
somewhere.
accounts. I've
And,
been in this field 36 years. I still use T accounts.
hello, love them. And then when you tell your clients that, oh, it's this price, they get all bent out of shape, but you see them a month later, they got on a pair of Louis Vuitton shoes. Like, really? I'm not worth this? Okay, no problem. No. And I'm glad I just brought that up, because I wanted to ask you, like, I know in this, just being a female, period, in any dominating industry, you have people that look up to like Eve Rothlo and Tegan Price, or being the Olivia Pope. And nowadays, for real, especially in our industry, we don't get that recognition or that reciprocity. um, it's challenging. It's very challenging. So, how do you face that? How do you correct that? Especially when we're dealing with the narratives with our Black, Brown, and Indigenous communities. Like, how do you fix that?
Well, I just have to, say, my time is just as valuable as any other people. I got my degree, I got my CPA. I didn't take the affirmative action CPA exam. I passed the same CPA exam as every other CPA out here. My experience, my 36 years of experience, is worth something, and it's really dependent on your industry and what you're doing, and if I can help you. I'm not going to be all things to all people, and it's great to be needed. It really is. It's great to have your services in demand, but you don't want to get to a point where you are trying to be all things to all people. And there are just certain things, like I don't do taxes. I'm not a tax person, so I'll send those clients to you.
I love them. I love them.
I could do it, but that's just not my forte. I'm more in the hardcore accounting and bookkeeping. I like to do the books. I love spreadsheets, and I love, calculating,
Now, I like seeing the problem and
different
finding what the
things.
problem
Yeah.
is. I like the analytical part of it.
I like calculating depreciation. I like doing bank recs. I like that kind of stuff. But there are just certain industries, and there's certain things. I don't do investments. Don't ask me for investment advice. I got people in my network that do that. I will refer you to them. And people just think, oh, you're a CPA, you do taxes. Or you're a CPA, you do investments. No, I don't do that. I will lose your money for sure. I have people for that.
Yes. That's not what no.
So that, and then there are people out there, it's like you have a certain price. When I do certain things, I have a price, and my time is worth a certain amount. And if you can't afford it, then you just can't afford it. I'm sorry. I want to help you. However,
You
I,
know, I'm
I
so
mean,
glad you
I'm
brought
not
that
gonna
up.
I'm not gonna spin my wheels for hours and hours and hours if it doesn't serve me. You
I'm
know,
so I'm so
it
glad
has.
you brought that up.
I'm sorry, this is a business. I spent money to get my education. I spent money to, take that CPA review course and take that exam over and over again.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
Like,
spent a whole lot of time working overtime and paying my dues early in my career and learning this, this craft, if you will. And yeah, and supply and demand is on our side right now because there is such a shortage of accounting and finance professionals, even CPAs and non CPAs, because it's just not a glamorous profession. Everybody wants to do, they want to be influencers, they want to do AI, they want to do computer science, they want to do other things. And yeah, you can make a lot of money doing that. And, you know, accounting and becoming a CPA, they've made it so much harder. And it's just harder to go to school anyway. You're spending all this money for undergrad, and then in order to sit for the CPA exam, a few years after I've passed the exam, they instilled this 150-hour rule where you had to actually go to grad school in order to sit for the CPA exam. Nobody got money for that.
yeah,
We already they already spent, paying back student loans for undergrad. Now I got to go to grad school, and it's like, and they've had to roll back in a lot of, in I think about 5 states now. They're rolling that requirement back because there is such a shortage of accounting and finance talent. And it's not just in the US, but it's all over the world. Like, we're using offshores, we're using accountants in India and Trinidad right now to fill
that's
roles that
fantastic.
we either, it's cheaper, but, we're using them to fill roles that we can't readily fill here in the United States. And uh, it's a good thing for us.
Right.
But for somebody like you that is trying to run a business, I'm sure it's challenging to find people who are qualified to help you grow your business. You
Definitely. Most
know,
definitely. And what you saying, that not only is it challenging sometimes, you also got to know the network that you're working with. And I'll never forget when I went public, I had one client to tell me, and I'll never get Corey. I'll never forget him. I love him dearly. And he said, "You know what, Shavana? It's 10 million people in the Chicagoland area. Somebody is going to need an accountant." And
amen.
he said, I'm gonna tell you, because I've been in business 30 plus years. You don't
Mhm.
work with friends and family.
Oh,
You don't give out discounts. The only discount you give
hallelujah.
is to me. And your price is your price.
Hmm.
And he was like, you will lose yourself. And he said, I understand you're a new upcoming business. You want to be everything, like you said, to everybody.
Hmm.
You want to provide all of these services. And if the bill looks like it's too much, you want to give out a discount. He said, no,
Hmm.
don't.
Yeah,
Don't
and
do
you want to give out the discount just to get the business, just to get the client, especially if you're a new business. And I mean, that's fine if you want to run a special for a limited amount of time. Say, okay, the first 10 clients get 50% off. That's fine. But next year, those first 10 clients, you're gonna up just let them know, put it in the contract. Hey, next year you got to pay full price.
because it's not
Just like
half off every year.
these cell phone companies and some of these other companies. Like, yeah, you start out with you get a discount for the first year, but I gotta increase my prices. And and again, you can't be all things to all people. Everybody can't afford you, and that's
Because,
just the
like you said,
reality.
it has to service you, right?
Right. And I have, at my company I work for now, they have gobbled up all these smaller accounting firms with a lot of small business clients. And a lot of these small business clients have had the luxury of working with the same CPA for 20 years, and that person has retired, and that person never raised the price.
Mm.
And they're paying them, I got some clients that are paying us $150 a month. And it's like, I know that don't cover my salary, let alone my team's salary. So we're having to go back and go to those clients and say, hey, we got to renegotiate your contract, because what we're doing for you is above and beyond what you're paying us for. And
then they leave.
It's not profitable for us. And then some of them leave, and some of them, yeah, your business has grown. You can afford to pay us more. You can afford to, we got to at least break even. We want to make a profit. We're in the business of making money, not losing money. Your little $150 a month, we're losing money. So, we have to increase our prices, and or we can change the contract and we can provide smaller amount of services, but this white glove service that we're giving you is going to cost you more.
Yes. Because like you said, it's your time.
Yeah.
Ms. K said you are so worth it. She was replying to your comment where she's seen AI make those mistakes. And Quest West said nothing is better than a zero balance. Like, I love that. Seeing that zero balance, like, but some people don't get it. Like, some people don't get it.
They don't. Yeah.
And
I used to go down the rabbit hole, chasing a dollar. And it's like, okay, look, I'm just gonna make an adjustment. Yeah.
This year, I was like, I'm
not chasing dollars and cents.
And I told myself that this year, like, after I learned about boundaries, like, I didn't know boundaries were so important. You and Miss K and one of my best friends, I call Hey Pooh. Like, I've never seen anyone stick to boundaries as much as you three have. And what I mean by that, you guys, you mentioned that the 21st century invented do not disturb. When I tell you that you, my friend Hey Pooh, and Miss K love that do not disturb, but oh my God, y'all make me so, especially her. Like, I want to call you at 10 o'clock at night. I don't know why, but answer the phone and she'll tell me, no, it's on do not disturb. But I gotta talk, and she'll tell me, I don't care. Talk to me tomorrow.
My do not disturb is scheduled.
Yeah, there's this too.
It goes on at 10:15 and it goes off at 9 a.m. the next morning. And I have my favorites, like my father's 84 years old. So, if he needs to reach me at 3 a.m.,
right.
But yeah, don't make it a happen. Funny story. When I first moved out on my own, and this was way before do not disturb, my father had a habit of calling me on Saturday morning at 7:30. And all my life, and I'm sure you can relate, like, you had to get up every morning. You had to get up to go to school. Saturday morning, you had to get up to do, clean the house. Sunday morning, you had to get up and go to church. So every day I was up early. When I moved out on my own, I was like, I'm done with that. I work, Monday through Friday. I have to get up early, but Saturday and Sunday is my time. I am going to sleep. I would sleep. I can't sleep till noon now. But when I was younger, I would sleep till noon on Saturday and Sunday. My father, without fail, would call me at 7:30 in the morning. And I'll say, I didn't want nothing. Well, like, Dad, really? What do you have to tell me at 7:30 on a Saturday? Oh, I just wanted to tell you, I guess who I ran into at Jewel yesterday. Like, really? You couldn't wait till noon?
No, I did my mother like that. Like I would wake her up on purpose. Like, Mom, guess who I seen? And she'll be like, everybody you know and didn't know. Why did you wake me up for this? Well, you retired. You ain't got nothing to do no way. So get up and talk to me.
You know what I started doing? And this was before smartphones and do not disturb. I would unplug my phone on Friday. Yes, I did. Yes,
no way.
And when he couldn't reach me at 7:30 in the morning, guess what happened? He stopped calling me at 7:30 in the morning.
Okay.
So I had to set those boundaries early. You know, I was like, I am going to have my time. And at first I felt guilty. I'm like, okay, I live on my own. I don't have any kids. I mean, I had a couple of cats. The cats are fed. I don't have anywhere to go. I don't have anybody to meet. Why do I feel guilty about sleeping till noon? And then I got over it. And I was like, and now we got do not disturb. And that's like, oh my God, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread.
It is. And you know what? I don't utilize do not disturb, but I have my time to myself. And a lot of people know that I'm a morning person. So my mornings typically start between 3 and 5 a.m.
Oh, wow.
So between 3 a.m. and 8 a.m., don't bother me. I don't care what you got going on. Don't bother me.
Look, if you call me in the middle of the night, you better be in the hospital, in jail, or dead. And if you in jail, I'm gonna question you. What are you in jail for? And if you're in jail for something stupid, like, okay, I will come get you at 8 a.m.
You are strict with these boundaries. I love it. Now, let me ask you a question. Since you're strict with your boundaries, which is a good thing, because I've learned about boundaries. I notice how even when you and I talk and we talk about the workplace, you always say set an example and make sure people are respecting you in the workplace. And a lot of times you always bring up to me Illinois, of course, is one of the major states that is very, very, very stern on their labor laws. Yes. So being in the financial industry, how do you teach people how to treat you professionally, especially regarding communication outside of your work time? Like, how do you still expect them to treat you professionally?
I don't answer the phone after 5 o'clock.
Period.
If you leave a message, I've had clients that would call me after I'm off work, and they'll leave a message. If I listen to the message and it is really something that will take me 2 minutes to answer a question, or if it's something that is truly urgent, I will call them back. But generally, it's not something that can't wait till tomorrow morning after 9 o'clock. And it's generally not something that, maybe if they call me on I work till Thursday. If they call me after 5 on a Thursday, it could wait till Monday morning, or one of my teammates can jump in and answer that question, or, help them out.
So what happens when you have that client that it's an emergency to them? And of course, it's not an emergency to us, but I would feel comfortable knowing that I spoke to someone versus leaving a message, even if you don't handle it right now. How do you deal with those clients?
I deal with those clients using and another invention, greatest invention of the 21st century is out of office. So my email, if they email me every Thursday when I get off work, I set up my out of office, and it says, I am out of the office on Friday. I will return your email on Monday. And if this is an emergency, reach out to so-and-so, which is, my boss. And that is a response. they can't say that I was unresponsive because that out of office responded to them immediately, letting them know that I'm not there. And even with, vacations, I set that out of office. So they know I'm not available and they know they can reach out to somebody else. Most times, if there is, if there's an emergency, there's really no, emergency means somebody's dead or dying.
Okay.
There's really no emergency. It's basically your poor planning on your part. There's something that I've been asking you for. I've had a couple of clients where, oh, I'm refinancing my house. I need my books done. Okay, well, there wasn't an emergency 6 months ago
when I asked you.
When I asked you for all this information. Now you want to send me 6 months worth of bank statements and credit card statements and everything else. And then you expect me to turn this around. It would have taken me 6 months to get this done. And now you want me to do 6 months worth of work
in 2 hours
over the weekend? Oh, yeah. No, babe.
No, at least they give you the weekend. I get the people that call and say, well, okay, Shavonna, I need this done. I got to submit it by 5. Dude, it's 2:00. Where you been? And I know these people gave this to you earlier. What happened?
Right.
I know you could do this. This show field. Dude, you build fences, but can you build one in 2 hours?
Right.
But I love the expectations because that just gives me a sense of pride because I'm delivering a service.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't like it when my back is against the wall.
Yeah, and
because now I got to bring other people in to get this information to you for whatever reason that it is. Like I had a lady reach out to me Tuesday. Hi, I was referred to you by someone. I need help with the IRS. They're about to garnish my wages. Well, first of all, how many letters did the IRS send? Oh, I never got it.
This ain't the first time
they know you got letters. Did you move? Did you move? Well, yeah, right. I moved a couple times. Okay. Do you have an IRS account? No, I just don't really have time to do all that. So I was hoping that maybe I can just give you everything and you absolutely not, ma'am. This is called teamwork. I'm going to need your help.
Well, that's the thing where, you can say yes with conditions and you can say, okay, I can do this for you, but it's going to cost you.
And that's what a call went.
And it's going to cost you a lot. So,
yeah. They like the news. They don't like the fees.
Right.
They don't like the fees.
Yeah. I can expedite this and I can work through the weekend, but it's going to cost you so much. It's going to cost them so much money. They're not going to want the service. That's how you scare them away. And then if they say yes, I'm like, okay, I'll take the money.
Yep. And I'll get it back to you in the weekend. Here's
what I can get it to you over the week. Hey, this will pay for my next business class flight.
Yes, so and there you go. And I know that's what you're thinking.
It's like, okay, how many business class flights can I buy working for the weekend?
That's a good analogy. I'm gonna start saying, how many tickets can I buy? Because my friend Pooh, she love to take a plane up out of here. So maybe I can tell her, girl, look, I got a client that needs this expedited. Where we going next weekend? We going first class.
Yeah, that's how about you. Like, okay, I can buy this whatever, but let's see, how many business class flights is that going to cost me? So nah, that's too expensive.
Miss K said yes, not after 5. She loves it. She's another one. Pendleton Quick Tax. Shout out to her. She don't play. If her hours is 9 to 5, that's it. She's not answering before 9. She's not answering after 5. That's it. That's all.
That's how you teach people how to treat you. And then if you answer the phone after 5 o'clock, then they want to call you at 5:30. Then they want to call you at 6. Then they want to call you at 7. And then if you keep answering the phone, all you're doing is teaching them, hey, I'm on call 24/7. Or if you're on vacation and you're checking emails and you replying to emails, and you're picking up the, I used to tell people, look, if you dream about calling me while I'm on vacation, you gotta wake up and slap yourself. So, and I give everybody in the department, everybody who is I could think of, I give them a heads up weeks before I leave. Okay, I am going on vacation from this date to this date. If there's anything you need, my last day is Friday. You need to reach out to me by noon on Wednesday. Don't come to me on Friday at 4:30 thinking something's gonna get done, because it's not. Um, then I send out another email as we get closer and closer to my vacation, and then I put on my extended absence. I am not available by email, text message, or phone. I pretend like I'm going to the most third world country that has no 5G, has no Wi-Fi, no nothing. You cannot reach me. I am on safari. I'm living in a freaking tent. I would never do that. I love my luxury hotels, but yeah, I pretend I'm living in a tent. You would not reach me. So if you need anything,
call somebody else.
You need to reach out to me now, or you need to call somebody else. And I put whoever, is backing me up or whatever. And that's how I, set those boundaries, because I feel like the day you pick up the phone while you're on vacation, that is what's going to be expected from here on out.
That's great. You know what? I've learned so much this year, and every year, as we talked when I first opened, you said I was going to learn some things. Every year is going to be different, and those boundaries, when I tell you, they play such a huge role that even when it came to some of my clients, I had to show them how good it felt just to be on time and before time, not to have me consistently calling and emailing and setting up appointments. And it was just like, wow, like it felt so great, like so great.
Yeah, I got so tired of chasing clients for information. And finally, at our firm, we started actually putting clients on suspension for being non-responsive.
Whoa. I think I need to try that.
Yeah,
Quest West said, send the email, send the mail, send the tree mail.
Yeah. Tree mail. It's like, yeah, I'm a survivor for 2 weeks. I cannot be reached.
That was a good one. I like that one. Now, I know that I like to tell people, especially in my industry, and it makes sense to me. It may not make sense to anybody else, but I like to tell people that I look at things from an octagon's perspective. And if you know what an octagon is, that's 8 different sides. So I'm looking at it from 8 different sides. But your saying is you don't land 747s for a living. If you have a bad day at work, nobody dies. What does that mean, and how do you apply that to your life daily? Because I like that, because that's a big plane.
First of all, if I'm having a stressful day and I have to remind myself, it's not the end of the world. It's like the stress is going to come and go. Tomorrow is another day. If whatever I'm doing, there's really nothing in my professional world that qualifies as an emergency. An emergency means you in the hospital, you in jail, or you're dead. That's an emergency. That's a god awful emergency.
Yeah,
or you're dead or dying. Most of the time, an emergency in our professional world crops up because somebody dropped the ball. Somebody procrastinated. Somebody didn't do what they were supposed to do. Somebody was late doing something, and your procrastination is not my emergency. And if it's the weekend, if I'm about to go on vacation, or and then you want to give me 6 months worth of bank statements and you want me to turn it around overnight, I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. You know, so I try to be as proactive as I can with my clients. I reach out to them several times and I say, hey, can you send me this? Can you send me that? And then if, you know, if they don't respond, then they don't respond. And you know, I've had clients to come to me, you know, I'm refinancing my house and I need my books, or my son is applying for student loans. We need our books. We need them right away. Okay, I've been reaching out to you for 6 months now to get all of your information. Now you just send it. Now it's all of a sudden it's an emergency. Oh, it's not my emergency.
Because I've been here. I've been here. What you
that, you know, we're having growing pains where I'm working, but we've kind of gotten a system where you send that kind of stuff upstairs, and I let the partners and, you know, our client success team handle that. I don't deal with that stuff anymore because I nearly lost my job talking to a client one time. You know, 'cause they did just that, and I was like, they were like, oh, we don't want to work with her. Yeah, because I keep asking you for stuff and I keep demanding, you know, it gets ask nicely, demanding. And it's like, I don't do finesse. I don't do customer service. It's like, these are your books. This is your business. And if you don't care, guess what?
I don't care.
Neither do I.
And I had to get there this year. And for the record, since I've told everyone that you was my account, I am not one of those people.
No, you are one of the best. You are one of the best. You give me so much information. I'm looking at the stuff. Really? I don't need all this. But you can, it's like, look, I'm happy to have
you to have more.
I have more
than because I don't know what you need.
Yeah, I have more than I need. Everything. And I'm like, if all of my clients were like you, my job would be so much easier. I'm telling you. And you know, but you know, you have to deal with some of this tomfoolery, and you know, it just comes down to you know, lay people don't understand what all of this takes. It takes a lot. It's tedious. Sometimes your small business, it seems like it's super easy and it's like, oh, I can just do this in my sleep. And no, it's a lot of little nuances, you know, that have to happen, you know, before I can get all of this done. And it's just not a matter of you, oh, I'm just going to send you a bunch of bank statements. You just going, I had a partner when I was a real estate controller. We were talking about year end, and me and, you know, my senior accountant, we were trying to explain to him, yeah, at year end, there's just a lot more, you know, we're doing accrual accounting. There's just a lot more that goes into getting prepared for tax season and doing the year end books. And he's like, oh, well, if you put everything in properly, oh, don't you have to, all you have to do is push a button.
No. The misconceptions that people
I said, it took so much for me to hold my tongue. I'm like, did this reduce my life's work to pushing a button?
It's so not. It's so not.
I took the CPA exam 7 times to learn how to push a button.
Wait,
are you kidding me? and my friend Ebony, shout out to Ebony Purnell. She just kind of like touched my arm, like
like calm down.
And she used to read my emails that I was sending emails to the partners. I say, Ebony, come here, read this email. And she read the email, her eyes would be like, whoa, you can't say that.
Right. Quest West said if looks could kill. Now, let me piggyback off that, Quest West. Now, I work closely with my staff, and we do a lot of things remotely. Like 93% of the things we do is remotely.
Yeah, she's an accountant too.
And Miss K is on here, and she can contest to this. Like when I get them clients, oh my God. and I stay in a brick building, do you know the people on the next block hear me? And I gotta call somebody that know this. And if Miss Angel don't answer, Miss K is there because it's like we catch each other right there,
Yeah.
especially with the time difference. Oh, the first thing I say is, "Let me tell you, girl." And when it start like that, she be like, "Hold on, friend, calm down first.
I started an email. I was like, first of all, Ebony was like, oh, you can't say first. Let's soften this up a little bit. She's like the finesser. She fixes. I was like, look, I'm gonna let you rewrite this. I'm about to lose my job.
Listen, I want to go to their house and knock on their door. Let me tell you what I got to put into this.
What you not gonna do?
Right, right. Girl, they don't understand. Miss K said
like,
shake my head because she know.
And these are like, North Shore businessmen, and I'm like going all South Side. First of all,
Look, wait. When these glasses come off, and I already can't see. So when I take these glasses off, and I be like, "Let me tell you, girl. Let me tell you," and she be like, "Friend, you gotta calm down. It's okay, right, friend. Calm down. Listen, I don't even want to calm down. No, I want to go to their house. Matter of fact, that's where I'm gonna go. I'll call you later because I'm mad." But we can do this amongst each other. And then when I calm down, it's like, okay, let me call back. Hi, I'm so sorry for that encounter. I had to walk away and just look at what I did on my behalf. Let's see how we can fix these things. Now I got to smile, biggest day. And in the inside, I just want to chew your brains out.
Yeah, I have to defer to, we have a client success team at Venning. I have to send that stuff to client success because if I answer the email, it's not going to be pretty.
And I send everything to my business project manager. I know
they have a way of finessing. I don't do finesse.
She has a better way with words. She has a better way with words. Quest West said, "This job makes you want to slap her." You know what?
Yeah,
absolutely, Quest West. Absolutely.
That's right, Kelly.
And you know what? Speaking of that, Miss Piper, you talked about using yoga as a form of meditation and while you're under stress. Do you think that helps you with your day-to-day life activities when it comes to work?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I have such an amazing yoga community. When I moved, I've been involved in yoga since 2009. I actually taught yoga for a few years. And quick story. My yoga teacher trainer, her name is Piper Parker as well.
Yes. But you're the only Miss One I call Miss Obama.
I'm not the only one. She's Piper Lori Parker. I'm Piper Renee Parker. She opened the studio. I worked for her for 3 years, but she was my yoga teacher trainer. But I've been involved in yoga and meditation for many years. I founded a studio here in Evanston, and we've built such an amazing community of powerful, really accomplished women. And when I'm having a bad day, I lean on them. And just some of the techniques that you learn, like just breathing, you just be amazed at just breathing, how breathing just calms your central nervous system and brings you so much clarity. And just some of these breathing techniques and that I've learned over the years, I use that in my daily life. So if I'm having a particularly stressful day, I get up, walk away from my desk. I have a dog, so take the dog out for a walk around the block, take some deep breaths, and it is amazing what that does for you. Instead of, one of my yoga teachers, Kim Wade, if you're listening, she always says, you can eat right, you can exercise, but if you walking around pissed off all the time, you are not healthy. And there are just some things you just got to let go. And yoga has taught me to keep the things that serve me and let go of everything else. So, if there's, we can't control everything. There are some things that we can control. There's a lot of things we can control, but there are just some things that you can't control, and you just got to let that go.
And I learned that this year, like I feel like this year has been such a teaching year for me being an entrepreneur. And um just again, like you said, you use that breathing and walking away technique. And I typically lean on my business project manager, or now I'm finding myself when it's too bad, I stand up and I say, peace be still. Because I
Hmm.
can't.
Yeah.
Peace be still. Because this not working for me. And
Hmm.
I like to look at stuff that's gonna make me laugh. So
Yes.
if something is, and that's why I did sitcoms today. So I'll go back and look at one of them sitcoms out because I need the laugh to get that off me. Laughter is good for the
Oh
soul.
yeah, laughter is medicine. And,
It,
and
it is.
there's actually research to prove that.
Yes, especially when you're in this type of industry. And again, with the misconceptions, like you mentioned that you don't do taxes, I don't do real estate, but that
Hmm.
foundation alone, it's a lot that comes with that foundation. It's a lot
Hmm.
to do a tax return, depending on the complexity of it,
Yeah.
depending on the source documents that's needed. So we don't diminish what either of us do. It's just so many different areas under this umbrella that we all need to work
Hmm.
together, and we can work together, and we lean on each other for that support.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people don't do that as entrepreneurs because they go in thinking that, oh, I got this. I know what I'm doing. I
Hmm.
seen
I'm
my
gonna keep
cousin.
all the money.
Right. No, and
And
it's not like that.
yeah, and I had a thing where when I was controller for the real estate developer, and their business model was to buy properties, develop it, and sell it. And then later on, they started keeping some of the properties, and they started leasing spaces like strip malls and things like that. So I was like, well, that's property accounting. I'm doing development accounting. I'm doing job costs. I'm doing, sworn owner statements. I'm doing all this other stuff. And it was a lot of time. And then now you want me to do property accounting too? And I was just well, I had brought in my girlfriend to help me at that point. And I straight up told one of the partners, I said, no, I'm not doing that.
Right.
And Ebony looked at me like, oh, you said no? And I said, yeah. And I explained to her, I said, look, I can only do so much well. And yes, I can do property accounting. I came up through property accounting. However, I'm working a ton of hours as it is. And I said, it will, and I explained to the partner, I said, there are some property management companies that could actually do this for you cheaper than you paying me hourly. Yeah, I could have made the money,
But
but
it's not always
for
about money.
me, for me, the time and the quality of what I was doing was more important. I'm like, I'm delivering, this is my name on this stuff, and I'm delivering a certain level of service and expertise, to what I'm doing. And then if you want to add something else, that's going to take away from that. So they actually found a small property management company that did the property accounting for them at much cheaper than I would have charged them. So, and sometimes that time for me is way more valuable
Than the
than the
money.
money, because I work for a couple of companies that paid overtime. A lot of these companies, in corporate, you work salaried. But I worked for a couple of companies that they were salaried, but if we worked more than 40 hours, we got paid overtime at straight time, but we had the option to bank the time as additional PTO. I always took the additional PTO.
Okay. for your time, like you said.
I wanted the extra time off.
Yes. Now we have a question, better yet, a statement. Quest West said, "Would you want a heart doctor doing your knee surgery?"
No,
Accounting is also
exactly,
specialized. Absolutely.
absolutely,
I agree with that. A
and that's
10
what people,
billion percent.
yeah, and that's what people don't understand. People ask, oh, well, and ask me about investing and ask me about tax, and it's like, I don't like doing taxes. I
I
don't
love
want to do tax. I do my family's tax returns. That's it. When the people say, "Oh, would you do taxes? Can you do my?" No, hard no,
it. And you say it without guilt. So
no, without guilt,
how
because
do
I
you
know.
do that and it don't bother
Listen,
you?
service with resentment is not service. Even if
Okay.
you're getting paid for it, service is. I do certain things well, and taxes is just not one of them. Investing is not. I'm gonna lose your money for sure.
Yes. And speaking of that, I had a gentleman on last week, Mr. Owens. Shout out to Mr. Owens, the health advocate wellness gentleman. And he's out here and he was doing investments. Like anytime somebody want to talk to me about investments and building their money in stocks and bonds, you ain't even got to tell me nothing else. Let me give you this guy's number
Uh-huh.
because you don't want me doing it. Not at all. Now, if you got payroll, you got an IRS resolution, you got
Mm-hmm.
bookkeeping, you got taxes, I got you
Yeah.
100%. You need financial statements, I got you. But
Mm-hmm.
investments, I don't even know how to spell investment. So let me talk to somebody else. That's what I tell them. I don't even know how to spell
Exactly.
it. I know we talked a lot about clients. I got one important question, not just as a CPA and not just as a business owner. Why is accountability so important? I need you to explain that to our viewers because it'll hit differently coming from you than when
Mm-hmm.
it comes from me. So
Yeah,
why?
when you say accountability, are you referring to clients being accountable and then that
Yes.
going? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I document. I try to document everything. I keep every email. I keep, when people send me stuff, my clients send me information. I keep and I archive all of that stuff. And it's really important that I have all the information I need. And when conversation, because sometimes when you're having a verbal conversation with somebody, even if I'm having a client meeting, I go back and I reiterate, here's what we talked about, and I send out an email. We even have these apps that will record the conversation, do a whole note taking. We have these note taking apps, and you can go back and look at the notes, and I share those notes with the clients. So if there is any kind of misunderstanding of what we talked about, it's there in the notes. And then I'm doing an additional email and say, hey, this is what we talked about, and so there's no misunderstandings.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'm accountable, as well, because I stand on what I tell you. If I tell you, hey, I'm going to have your books done by the 15th, and at the time it might be, I think it's going to work, but things come up, then I'm going to reach out to you and say, I know I told you the 15th, however, your books are going to be late for these reasons. And I try to be accountable. The whole thing with the extended absence, if you're going to reach out and email me and I'm not in the office, I'm not just going to leave you hanging. There's a response. I'm out of the office until this time. I will return when I get back in the office, I reply to that email as soon as I get back to the office. So, when I give you my word, integrity is a huge thing for me.
Absolutely.
Especially in this business, because I feel like, if you're going to cut corners, if you're going to even, you know, Lord forbid, steal a little bit for yourself, it's going to come back and bite you at
Absolutely.
some point. And, I feel like, we're selling, I don't sell widgets. I don't sell weed. I don't sell product. I sell my integrity. And if
Yes.
you can't trust me, then I have nothing to sell you.
Right. Right. I have nothing to give back. And
Right.
you're right, Miss Quest West. Proof is in the
Yeah.
pudding. And my friends, they talk about me, and I even say it's a blessing and a curse, but I will go back to a client and be like, well, remember in 2022 on October 12th at 6:48 p.m., this was our conversation. And I'm saying it to them because A, I'm not gonna forget it. B, I've
Yeah.
already notated the account. So I got a physical copy and I have a digital copy. And I know I sent you a recap email. So what didn't you understand? Where was the
Mhm.
disconnect at? And for people that don't understand how important that accountability is, it's it's important because, like you said, we don't have a product, we have integrity, we have, this is us, like we're signing those documents.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's our education, our experience, like everything,
Yeah.
everything.
And if I have a conflict, I mean, I've had conflicts with clients, and my bosses have, well, the client said this, and then I give my side of the story, and I was like, I have emails to back this up, and I send all my emails and my conversations with those clients to my bosses and to the partners, and this is what took place. This is what happened, because I document, and I keep all the emails. So they can't come back and say, oh, well, she didn't ask me about it. Yeah, I did. I sent you an email on November 5th, 2024,
Yes,
asking
yes,
you for this stuff.
that
And I
part.
didn't hear from you for 6 months.
And I still sent you emails. Quest West
And I
said,
still,
I heard once say, always cover your booty. That is so true. Always. It's gotta be in black and white for
hallelujah,
me. Yes.
hallelujah.
It's
Yes,
gotta be in black. If it's not in black and white, it wasn't said.
it didn't happen.
It did
Right.
not. You're right. I need to see it. Show me. Show me
Yep.
where it says it at.
Yep.
And of course, you got to be careful with some people you do that with. True story. I was in a car one day and the police pulled us over. Didn't know why. And why you pulling us over? We not speeding. Is it because we black? Like, what is it? Is it because we women? Like, well, show me the law, the part where you pulled me over for no reason. Show me the law and the statute. Because if
Right.
it's
What's
not
the
there,
probable cause?
right, we're gonna go to the police station because now I want to report you. So
Yeah.
so yeah, but okay. Now, my final question, well, no, one of my last questions to you is, I know I talk a lot about you off air. Um, and I know that you're so good at mentoring and giving back, even when you say no. So, can you share a story with us of a mentoring moment that impacted you and someone else?
I can share a couple, and my interactions with you, actually. When my cousin reached out to me and said, hey, Shavana is a great lady I know, and she needs help. And, I didn't hesitate. And, my interactions with you, and just being involved with your company, it has impacted me. And it's like the service. I've enjoyed that service with you. I've enjoyed mentoring you. I've enjoyed watching your trajectory and enjoyed watching your company grow. And I'm just so grateful for being you, allowing me to be a part of that. And then also, I talked about the whole thing with the working with the real estate developer. When I had that opportunity to, uh, hire one of my good friends, Ebony. I hadn't. She's a property account. We bonded over the property account, and we actually met through mutual friends, but we had never worked together.
Whoa.
But just talking to her, and we talking about all the trials and tribulations of property management, I knew she was the right person for that role. And it not only I was happy to be able to give her an opportunity, but also it helped me because I was really getting to a point where I was getting burned out. And, I could take a vacation. I could leave for a month. And I knew the partners were in good hands. I didn't have to worry about, and I knew she wasn't going to call me while I was on vacation.
And look, I felt so bad when I had to text you when you was on vacation.
Oh no, that was just something that was just like, we were just talking. It was not even work related. I was texting friends and family and calling people and FaceTiming people while I was on vacation. And I was just like, oh my God, will you look at this view?
I had a question about the books.
Work people, it's like work people don't call me about work. No.
I definitely waited till you got back. I told my business project manager, I say, look, this is a question for Miss Piper. I'm gonna wait till she get back. She was like, huh? Wait, what? Why you just can't email her? Absolutely not. We're gonna wait till she come back to the United States. She said, right, point taken. Don't email. Wait, respect her time. So I get it. I so get it. Like,
yeah, I like replied to you. I remember you said, oh my God, it's 3 a.m. Like, no, it was 3 a.m. in Chicago.
And I was up. And I was up. See?
It was like 9 or 10 a.m. in Italy.
And I was up bright, early, and bushy tail. Like, those are my hours. Like, I could have went to the Marines or the Army because I'm an early person.
It was like, oh no, I don't expect you to reply to the email. It's just like, okay, I was just about a pool and like, okay, I gotta, get these thoughts out.
Right. You heard that, y'all. By the pool. By the pool. By the pool, girl. Oh my God. I'm gonna get that. I swear to God, I love you, Miss Piper. I
was like, I gotta get this out before I get drunk,
So first, I want to thank everybody for coming out again on a Saturday, whether you're looking at the show now or you're gonna come back and watch it. Like, I fully and truly appreciate you spending your time with me and Anointed Accounting. Our special guest, Miss Piper Parker. Man, thank you so much for coming out on. I'm glad my show is not on a Sunday because you would have told me no. Right. But I'm so glad you came out. Like, on a business level, I've learned so much from you overall, but just in our interaction today, I now feel confident in saying no without guilt, because if you can do it, why can't I do it and be okay with it? So I really truly appreciate your wisdom. I appreciate your insight. I just appreciate you all the way around, because like, from that octagon's perspective, I see it and it's helping me. So I appreciate your mentorship, because like, that has helped me through the time of having this business. Really, it's so to go to someone that has 30 plus years of experience, that's over half of my life. Why wouldn't I come to you? So I just truly appreciate you. I thank you for coming out. I hope our listeners got something from you. If you could, what would be one takeaway that you could leave with our listeners overall? What would be one takeaway that you would want them to be okay with?
I would say service with resentment is not service. And if it doesn't serve you, if you're not passionate about what you're doing, like, don't let anybody bully you or guilt you into giving your time and your service. It has to be something that you feel passionate about and that serves you. Don't give from an empty cup. Make sure you have what you need before you give your time and your service.
Amen. I receive that. Hey Joy, my sister said I should have been doing that. Saying no is okay. Because Benita would tell me, how about no? In a heartbeat, just like that. No. So Miss Piper, although we're virtual, You can check your email shortly, and you will have a special thank you gift from Anointed County.
Oh,
Just
thank
for coming
you.
out and spending this time with us, giving us your wisdom. I'm gonna ask everybody that joined us today if you could please share the content again. You don't know who needs to see this. You don't know who needs to hear this because somebody else may be out there struggling to say no for whatever the reason is. It's easier said than done. But somebody out there needs to hear this. Share the information, like, love, comment. Ms. Piper, thank you again for joining Let's Talk Finance. I'm so grateful. I'm sending you love and hugs.
Thank
I
you.
so love and appreciate you. You all could contact me on all social media platforms under Anointed Accounting. Our website address is www.anointedaccounting.com, and our telephone number is 312-837-7219. Before we get up out of here, Ms. Piper, do you have any last words?
No, cheers.
I got my water, but okay. Thank you all for tuning in. I want you all to have an excellent Saturday. Enjoy the rest of your day. Be safe, stay encouraged, check on someone, and then check on yourself. Until next Saturday, I love you all, and I will see you all next week.
Thank you.
Yes.
Bye.